While it might appear Huawei's just slapped a Pro onto the Honor 8 from last year, this phone seems to share more with the flagship P10 than last year's Honor 8. Now, does this Honor 8 Pro do justice to its price tag of 30,000 rupees? Let's find out in this video. But before we do, if this is your first time here, or in case the never-ending spate of incredible smartphones have erased me from your memory, my name's Ash, you're watching C4E Tech, and this is our full review of the Honor 8 Pro. Let's get started. The design is quite similar to a lot of other phones in the market. We've got metal to the back with dual cameras and a fingerprint scanner. To the front, we've got 2.5D Gorilla Glass covering the display. It's worth noting that Huawei's buried a notification LED inside that earpiece. Nice. The other placements are as expected. The 3.5mm headphone jack Type-C port and a solitary speaker occupy the bottom, power and volume keys to the right, the IR blaster and a secondary noise cancelling microphone can be found up top, and to the left we've got a hybrid slot. So this tray here can house either two SIMs or a SIM and a micro SD card. So while the design might come off as uninspired, the Honor 8 Pro does feel great in hand. The metal build gives it a premium feel of sorts. The 6.97mm thickness means it feels very slim, especially given that it's a large phone with a 5.7-inch display. At 185 grams, it exudes heft, something I find quite reassuring. Overall, Huawei's done a good job with the build here. Now, underneath the hood, just like with the Huawei P10, the Honor 8 Pro is powered by the high silicone Kirin 960 chip. Now, this is a powerful 4A73 and 4A53 combination that in terms of raw CPU performance slots just below the Snapdragon 835. As far as the GPU goes, we've got the Mali G71MP8 handling duties here that should be comparable to Adreno 530 from the Snapdragon 821. So overall, Kirin 960 slots somewhere between the Snapdragon 821 and the 835, and that's a good thing. Even with intense day-to-day usage scenarios like gaming, the Honor 8 Pro performed great, ran anything thrown at it with ease. The metal back means it does have a tendency to get a little warm around the cameras, but it's not really that bad. It's also worth mentioning that we get 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of onboard storage here. Now, a great chip doesn't make the experience. There are a couple of other things that matter too, like the display and the software. So that said, let's talk about that display first. With the Honor 8 Pro, Huawei's gone with a 5.7-inch Quad HD IPS LCD panel. Given that other phones in this price segment all sport Full HD displays, this is a very good thing. While Full HD might be enough for regular day-to-day stuff, Quad HD does help with things like VR. By the way, the Honor 8 Pro will come with a Google Cardboard-esque DIY in the box. It's not very comfortable, but hey, it's free, it's included, and should help you get started with consumption of VR and 360-degree content. If you wanted to get a cheap VR headset, here's a card to our top picks. Anyway, back to the display. Quad HD spread over 5.7 inches results in a pixel density of 515 pixels per inch, meaning this display is sharp, the color reproduction is quite good. It also gets bright enough to be easily visible outdoors. While gaming, browsing, or doing just about anything, I found this display really beautiful, especially for media consumption. Talking about media consumption, the audio via the single downwards firing speaker is loud without any kind of distortion, but after getting used to stereo audio with both the Mate 9 and the Huawei P10, I couldn't help but feel Huawei had left me a little bit hanging here. Anyway, a 3.5mm headphone jack is present and the output's quite sweet. Didn't face any issues with cellular reception or call quality either. Now onto the other part of what makes a user experience on a smartphone. The software. Huawei is again done quite well here. The 8 Pro runs on Android 7 Nougat with Huawei's Emotion UI or MUI 5.1 on top. Out of the box, it looks like any other Chinese UI without an app drawer, but you can enable it and make the stock launcher a little similar to what you've been used to. The notification toggles are left more or less the same. There's a level of granular control provided by Huawei here. Right from controlling the notifications to the default linked apps, there's a lot you get to do here. There's also support for themes. The fingerprint scanner to the back is rapid, quick, and extremely accurate. You can also use it to lock apps or even launch into a totally different partition on the phone. So basically, a secondary private mode on the phone that gets triggered that's separate from your regular interface that gets triggered with another fingerprint. Overall, the user experience here on the Honor 8 Pro is excellent. The amazing Kirin 960 chip underneath, coupled with a smooth user interface and a brilliant high-resolution display, offers a stellar user experience. Great stuff from Huawei. Now, a high-resolution display plus a high-powered chip, you might expect it to equal to high battery drain. But that seems to be another area the Honor 8 Pro handles with aplomb. A 4000 mAh battery underneath is good enough to last through a day of intense use. I've had instances where I've managed to get almost 2 days of use out of this guy. Granted, those days weren't particularly intensive, I wasn't really pushing the device to its limits, but even then, if you do somehow end up draining the battery on your phone with heavy usage, the presence of quick charge means that the phone will be up and running within mere minutes. And now, let's talk about the one area of the Honor 8 Pro that I've saved for the last, and with good reason as well. The cameras. The Honor 8 Pro sports dual 12 megapixel cameras with an f2.2 aperture to the back. One of these sensors is a monochrome sensor while the other is your typical RGB unit. Well, all we've seen so far with the 8 Pro, the chip, the display, the software, all these are from this year's releases. The camera setup is right out of the Honor 8. That is probably the one link that it shares with the Honor 8. So it is a little older than the rest of the specs. That said, the camera still delivers in spades. Under good lighting, there's a lot of detail resolved, the noise levels are low, and the color reproduction is quite natural. The dynamic range is good too. Unlike the Honor 8 we've reviewed, not only does the camera here let you shoot monochrome, these images turned out to be pretty spectacular. The second camera also captures depth information and lets us shoot with a variable aperture. This can be adjusted even after the shot's taken. There is a bit of software trickery involved here since you can go up to an f0.95, but we did manage to get some nice looking shots with this too. Under low light, the camera performs adequately, the images have a little bit more noise but are definitely usable. The presence of optical image stabilization doesn't help as much as you'd think it would. The Honor 8 Pro shoots at 1/13th of a second, and given the presence of OIS, we expected it to go slower, but sadly it doesn't, by default at least. If you do want to go lower, however, you can do that given that there is a full-fledged manual mode included. With video is where OIS does help. The presence of optical image stabilization means the 8 Pro can shoot real stable 4K footage. The quality of the clips shot are top-notch, clean, well-detailed with excellent dynamic range. The footage itself gets recorded in H.265, so the file size is much lower than what you'd find on other phones. The 8 megapixel selfie camera also manages to get the job done, good quality images with a reasonable amount of detail and natural looking colors. Here are a few more samples that we've shot with these cameras for you to check out. Now, while you're checking them out, let's talk price. The 8 Pro should be available at around the 30,000 rupee price mark. At this price, it becomes an excellent alternative to the OnePlus 5. If the Quad HD display, large battery, and 128 gigs of storage with support for microSD are high on your list of priorities, you could even get it over the OnePlus 5 as this is a great phone. Talking about the OnePlus 5, would you guys be interested in seeing a full comparison between these two? Let me know in the comments below. If you want it, I'll try to get that done. So anyway guys, that's it for my review of the Honor 8 Pro. If you do want to pick one up, I'll soon be leaving direct links in the description below. Use them while placing an order and it helps the channel out. So if you hated this video, I'm sure you know what to do, but if you did like it, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. If you have already subscribed, click that bell icon to make sure you get notified each time a new video goes live here on C4eTech. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this here is Ash. You've been watching C4eTech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.